Hey guys, welcome to another day, another office hours. Uh, my streams the last 2 days have been kind of a mess, just because I wasn't feeling really good. I wasn't like no, I'm the English teacher. I wasn't feeling so I wasn't feeling so hot is casual colloquial. I wasn't feeling well is what I'm trying to say. I wasn't feeling well. And on top of that, I had a bunch of obligations, and also and my sleep rhythm's all messed up. So today I was actually supposed to be on practice test number 4, I think. So practice test number 5 I was supposed to do yesterday, and practice test number 4 I was supposed to do today. But yesterday I didn't do practice test number 5. This morning I didn't start on practice test number 4. Instead, what I'm doing is I'm just trying to get myself back into the rhythm of streaming, which has been completely broken. My rhythm has been messed up. I'm just trying to get back into the rhythm, even though I feel pretty, I don't feel very clear-headed right now. I just want to get through. I just want to stream anything. I want to stream anything. So, you know what I'm going to do? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get my energy level up, and tried and true. If I can't use music, because I can't on YouTube, it's very difficult to use music on YouTube. You know what I'll do? Just read some poetry. So let's see. I'll share my screen with you. Give me a sec. Bruh. I'm gonna just stream myself doing normal ass things because I need to just wake up. I need my body to like function. So I'm just streaming, man. Let's go. I'm like forgetting how to turn my screen on. Okay, that's kind of it, right? That's almost it. There we go. I don't know if ask me anything is necessary, right? Okay. So, yes, this is what my, oh, hang on, wrong page. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, this is what my YouTube algorithm looks like. It's pretty wholesome, right? Video games, news. Oh my God, the news. Oh my God, the news. Oh my God, the news. America, you're too much for me sometimes. But yes. What was I looking for? I was looking for poetry. What's that? What's that called? It was called poetry. Like, I have a thing somewhere. I don't know. Poetry by poets. I forgot what it's called. Do I have it in one of my subscriptions? Where are my subscriptions? So lost. Okay. Well, since I'm unable to find this, I might as well just do one of my chill out videos. Here. I'm just gonna keep this on while I look for. I'm gonna keep this on while I look for things. The sound of waves in Bali. This, this particular video, it happens to be focusing on like a woman, but this channel is not a surf trap. Oh, see, there we go, right away. Did I just say surf trap? I meant thirst trap. Thirst trap. Thirsty surfers surf where thirst and... Okay, hang on. I'm just making up a... What do you call it? I'm just making up a tongue twister. I am inarticulate right now. I am a bumbling idiot right now. Meanwhile, I'm looking for poetry series on YouTube. There's so many, but there's this one particular. There's a new one. There's a new one. It's not poetry as normal. Here, I'm gonna look at the news. Dude. Where did I even hear this poetry series from? Oh, okay, Locus Solus. Whoa, there's a band called Locus Solus. That's crazy. Okay, I'm having a hard time. But I'm trying to remember where I got... remember where I got this one reference. Oh, there we go. This is where I got the reference. Paris's reviews, Poets on Couches. No, this is not where I got it. Poets on Couches is not where I got this. I wish YouTube would just remind me of my own subscription. Oh, dude, guys. I really feel like garbage today. I just feel so crappy. Like... How do I find my own, It's funny that Amber Heard is one of the recommendations. I like literally do not want to hear more about Amber Heard. Can I like remove this? Can I tell YouTube not to give me more Amber Heard? Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll look through my history. Oh, thank God. Hours Poetica. Hours Poetica. That's what I was looking for. Hours Poetica. Oh, my Lord. So hard. Hours Poetica is such a great... And it is part of my subscriptions. How come I couldn't find it? Oh, it's right there at the top. I didn't see it. It's such a nondescript... That's interesting. This icon is actually pretty important, man. Because that's hard to... It's hard to read. It's hard to notice. This... Okay, so having bright colors in your logo is super important. It seems like, because I can't even tell. Like I immediately know Marquez because of his bright red shirt. Sam Morril is impossible to make out. I don't even know what that is. But then also Donut Media, they have that big bright yellow that I remember. Like, so you need to kind of brand yourself with this. Like a quick, it's like a tiny little thing. You need to brand yourself. So, note to self: I'm just a big black splotch, right? So I'm gonna need a better icon at some point. Oh, something changed. Sir. Oh no, the tutorial. Yeah, this channel, Surfers of Bali, is pretty nice though. It's nice to just sort of chill. Just have this on the background and let it play. Watch some waves whenever you want. You know, when you can't get... Like, if you live in, like, a very dense city with very little nature, this is nice. Dude, big wave. I'm not a surfer, by the way. Or, I mean, I'm not a surfer. I'm not... You know, I have surfed a couple times. And I want to surf more, but I don't live in a part of the world where that's like a thing. I should go to Bali. Oh, dude, I should go to Bali. This makes me feel a little better, watching the water undulating like this. when you see big waves like this, it kind of reminds you. It kind of reminds you of like the earth in motion, the fissures in the earth, the wind, the moon tugging on the water, and human beings looking like little ants. Oh, there we go. Wiped out. Damn, that looks so fun. God, I miss I miss like life out there. Oh, so tired. So tired. Maybe I should game. I'm so out of it right now.
I feel like you won't feel very good about having done that though.
Oh, my brother's talking to me because he doesn't know I'm streaming. He says, I feel like you won't feel very good if you do that. Wait, hang on. I have 4 concurrent viewers? That makes no sense whatsoever. Hang on, maybe, is my YouTube thing broken? Are people watching? Let me check. Are people here? Hey, if you are here, because I can't tell if this thing is broken, but right now, guys, it looks like my interface is broken. It's telling me there's multiple of you guys just chilling here with me, but I had no idea. So let me, what do you do it? What do you call it? Oh my God, I'm still so inarticulate. I'm a bumbling idiot right now. Let me fix something on my screen real quick. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, there we go. I'm just hoping that this coffee will kick in at some point and I feel less like garbage. God, nature is beautiful, guys. Yo. I envy that man. I want to be that man. To be at the whims of nature, Mother Nature. So much more powerful than us human beings. All right, here we go. What was I looking for? Oh yeah. So Ars Poetica. Let me get into a poem now. You know what? That was a little therapeutic. That made me feel a little better. You know, just watching some waves made me feel a little better. All right, let's read something. Hang on. They make animatics. They make little animations now. Interesting. They're trying. Oh no! I see. They're kind of reposting. No. What? I'm confused. Oh, this is not affiliated. I see. It's a totally different group. So I like Ars Poetica. A couple I've read or I've heard, I've seen, dude. I cannot talk. Okay, so I like Ars Poetica. I've seen a couple of their videos, and you know they're consistent, man. They pump out like every couple days. They have a new poet speaking. Not when I say speaking, like reading a poem. So there's so much to go through already. Like I've heard of them like what, like 2 months ago, 1 or 2 months ago, and so many poems have already come out. Like they're from the Poetry Foundation. How come I didn't even know that? I didn't even know that, but. Anyway, so many poems are coming out on Ars Poetica. I feel like this is so different from some of the other things that I've seen before. So I'm just gonna reset, man. Actually, Pratam, I see a question. Hey. Looks like you're Indian, right? Are you? And you might even be Indian international. Now, the best way, since you're probably not from the States because, you know, it's 10 a.m. in New York and 7 a.m. in LA. So you're probably not in the States, right? Because you have to be in school. But honestly, the best way to know the answer to your question is not by asking some stranger on the internet. It's going to your school counselor, okay? And asking your school counselor, your college counselor at your school, if you have one, and not all schools have one, but asking your school counselor, hey, can you pull up the data on all of the previous students from my school, from this school, right, that got into Cornell, and what were their SAT scores, okay? If not Cornell, then similar schools at that level, like with solid engineering programs. If you're looking for engineering, like I don't know. Actually, I'm making. Hey, I'm being racist. Hey, Indian engineer, are you trying to be an engineer? just. But like whatever particular program you're going to Cornell for, right? Like, think of similar schools. Even if your school doesn't have a lot of students who went to Cornell before, think of similar. My lord, think of similar schools, and then ask your teacher, like, what are some of the kids? What SAT score did some of the kids have from our school in the past that got into these schools? Okay. Sor. Wait, do I know you? 야, 아는 사람이냐? 누구냐? I can't tell, not from your name, but anyway. Hey, thank you for the vote of support in Korean. This person in Korean is just saying, there's like a Korean phrasing, like "화이팅!" You know, there's which is like I think the Japanese people say the same thing. They say fighting, and Koreans say fighting or "화이팅." So that's a show of support. Jonghyun, what's up, Jonghyun? This is my friend from Chicago. Now, Jonghyun's a really cool guy. He cool as in he's the worst person in the world, but he's really smart. He went to Chicago. So he went to Seoul National University, which is the top university in Korea. But then he transferred to Chicago after one semester, and then he went to MIT, and his research was in quantum computing. So he's actually really freaking smart. He's like, and whenever I have, because I love physics, so whenever I have new random physics things that I read, I talk to him about it. Now, I do want to answer Pratam's question though before going too much into. It is a shame, actually. Jonghyun knows because I actually used to be good at math. Because Jonghyun is so much better than me at math. But yeah, that's true. I did take honors calculus in Chicago, and oh my god, Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah. Like, just so you guys understand, like in Chicago, when I was taking honors calculus, the kinds of proofs we were doing were insane. I mean, they were so hard. My math was actually really good at the time. Now, I was still in the bottom 10% of my class because Chicago kids were freaking smart. But I was good at math. I was back in the day. I think I did okay. No, on the AME I didn't do great. On the AMC is that what it's called? On the AMC I did okay, but on the AME I didn't do great. I think I solved like one or something. I don't remember actually. It's been too long. But yeah, 750 is shameful. It's pretty funny having my friend just call me out. Anyway, Pratam though, let me get back to you. So Cornell. Cornell. What was I doing? Cornell. So here, I'm going to actually, so here's what I'm going to do, okay? Median SAT score, Cornell. And right here, you know how it says, so this, I want you to learn this one type of data, okay? If you have never looked, there's this one type of data you should be looking at. Now, it's best if you could get it directly from Cornell itself. There we go. Yeah, this is from Cornell itself. So, but this is one type of data you should get yourself familiar with, okay? So here, this is the class of 2022. So this is actually from several years ago, but this is still good enough. I mean, you can, if you do some sleuthing, if you kind of dig it up, you can find more recent data. But where's this probably includes international students, but it's very strange that they don't actually include the international students in this summary. Okay, but what you want to do, is you want to look at this part right here, okay? And specifically look at the 25th percentile and the 75th percentile. So out of 100 students that get into Cornell, okay, if you rank them by, you're an engineering student, so you're gonna know. But I'm just gonna say this out loud for all students. If you rank them by their SAT score on EBRW and math, and their total and their ACT, if you rank them, what is the SAT score of the 25th ranked person, and what is the SAT score of the 75th ranked person? This is very common data. It's reported by all colleges. I don't know about all colleges, but many colleges. And so you'll know that if you are 680 on EBRW, you are in the 25th rank, okay? If you're, oh, this is backwards, sorry. I'm reading it backwards because I'm really dumb right now. Sorry, if you're in the 25th place, you're actually in the 70th percentile. I'm reading it backwards. So you would actually have to have a 750, you would actually have a 750. And if you are in the 75th place, if you're kind of at the bottom 25%, you would have a 680. As an Indian international, you would typically, okay, this is just a broad generalization, you would typically be a little weaker on the EBRW and stronger on the math, right? I would say honestly, if you want to feel comfortable, you want to have somewhere between the 50th and 75th percentile, okay, to feel comfortable. So I would say aim for the 50th percentile or above, be at least a median. Okay, but it really depends on other factors, like what are some of the other strengths that you show on your application. Now, for example, if you are from a school that almost never sends students to Cornell, then from the Cornell's admissions perspective, they're going to have very little data on your school. It's like, oh, we've never admitted a student from this school before, so we have no idea if their numbers are all bullshit. We have no idea if if this school is like a honest to God, forthcoming school, or if they're sort of like a private institution that's sort of just trying to funnel students into the Ivy League and sort of brag, so they're going to have some doubts about your school if your school has never sent anyone to Cornell before, right? In that case, what you want to do is have more external and objective measures of success, things like the SAT and the ACT and the APs and the whatnots and the IBs. Now, going back, Pratham, to some of your updated questions, the data in CDS, can you tell me what the CDS is? CDS, I'm not sure what CDS is. And then you have a 1540. So you have a 800 on math and a 740 on the SAT. I think that's a solid place to be. Okay, it's a solid place to be. You would be above the median of the Cornell entering class. And I bet you would be above the median for international students who are applying to engineering. Okay, now we don't have right now on this one random site that I saw, we don't have international students, international engineering subsection, right? International engineering subsection. So you would want to do some more, I can't speak. I'm so tired. You would want to do a little more sleuthing to look up. Right. So common data set. Oh, you know what? By the way, Pratham, I think I've said this on different streams, but just so you know as well, because you may not know, I am not an admissions specialist. I don't focus so much on admissions. I focus more on the skill of reading and writing, and also the love of reading and writing, love of literature, love of reading, right? So I'm more of a teacher, not like a prep you for college dude. I'm not so much focused on college, but I'll share what I know. So I didn't know what the common data set was, but it makes sense that exists. So yeah, diversify your sources, have multiple sources. So what are some sources you can use? You can go directly to the school that you're interested in and look at their reports. Okay, it's not going to be hard. Sometimes it's hard to find because some schools have better organized websites and some schools have worse organized websites. So you're going to have to do some tinkering. But as an engineer, I'm sure you're pretty good with using Boolean search terms. Boolean. Okay. If you don't know how to use Boolean, or actually, I guess Google no longer uses Boolean, right? Google uses some sort of weird blend of things. But if you're not good at using search terms, you are severely handicapping yourself for the future. So learn to use search engines to your advantage. But look around the Cornell website and similar websites and look for their data. But also look at the CDS. I'm sure that's it's going to be nice and convenient. But also look at College Confidential and all the chance me's. So chance me's. Here, I'll actually show you one, and just look at how these kids did, right? Chance Me, Cornell, Indian, International. Okay, I'm just gonna do that real quick. There we go. This is from 2020, so it's only 2 years ago. So Chance Me. Class rank 1, SAT 1500, SAT 2, no longer SAT 2. This is sad, honestly, for some of you guys, especially for some of you guys who aren't directly connected to the American system, that you no longer have the SAT subject tests to kind of help you. But this is the kind of kid, and sometimes these kids will update. So let's look. Iridescence. Okay, let's see. Oh my God, do I even have a login? Oops. So I want to find out if this kid actually got in. And so you have to look at the last result. But he never replied? Bruh. You should at least reply. So we would have to look for post where he got in. But yeah, this is one. Yeah, this is one resource that exists. Okay, just look for threads. And now this is going to require some manual labor. Okay, and this is what an admissions specialist would already have done, right? If my whole life, if my professional job were to be an admissions counselor, like literally, none of us are doing anything special. All we're doing is looking up the research and learning the trends, and I don't do that. That's not my job, and it's not what I love to do. I don't love to learn the statistics that you need to get into a school. That's not fun for me, but this is what you would do. And if I were a student, I would probably never pay for a admissions counselor. I'd probably just do this on my own, because I know how to search things on my own. So I know how to I have research skills, right? I know how to research things on my own. So I would definitely do this. I would definitely do this if I were you. Okay, you'll notice right here. There's so many. Like there's so many Indian internationals. I mean, you know what I mean. There's so many. So you're gonna find a decent. You're gonna find a decent number of sources. By the way, it's not just College Confidential. Reddit does do chance me's as well. So look up the Reddit subreddit for chance me's as well. All right, thanks for the questions, Pratam. I'm still like, I've been streaming for what, like 40 minutes or something, 30 minutes, and I'm still not waking up. It's so hard. Half of your class is trying to go to the USA. Oh, Dark, I didn't even see that. Your the darkness. I missed your hi, but what's up, Dark? Sorry, I'm just mixing in Korean because I'm like, my mind is so blank. Half of your class is trying to go to the US. So it sounds like you're going to an international, like you're going to like an American school, yeah? Like you're going to an American school with like AP curriculum. So that naturally lends itself to many students trying to go to the US. If you're going to Indian local school, you're going to a British school, but I see. And so you're taking the IB curriculum, but some of you guys are trying to get to US schools. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm curious because this is not like, I'm such an American biased educator. I'd really be curious, you know, like what the deal is like. I'm just gonna make a random guess, okay? And you just tell me how accurate or inaccurate I am, and then like supply any details. But I'm gonna just make a random guess that now, obviously, India has a historical relationship with Britain that's stronger than its historical relationship with America. Stronger, quote unquote. I mean, stronger is maybe more tightly knit is what I'll just say for now, because stronger is kind of complicated, right? But here's my guess right now. In India, there are kids in an Indian international school where the kids are doing well enough to generally strive to go abroad for education. The kids who want to go to the kids who want to go to an UK school, university, tend to be focused on like politics and economics, and maybe even literature. I mean, for the few weirdos that are like that. And the kids who tend to be who want to go to the American schools tend to be comp sci and engineering. That's my guess. Now, you tell me, is that kind of similar to what it looks like at your school? Because that's pretty random guess. It's just sort of a stereotype, honestly, in my head. But it's based on what I think the UK schools are strong at and what I think the American schools are strong at. So let me know what you think about what I just said. And for now, I still want to read some poetry or listen to some poetry just to like, I need more like serotonin and like, I need more like positive, like my body is not waking up. So I'm going to do that again. Your PC died? Okay. Oh, what was I saying? Oh, here's my, okay, just a short version, okay? The short version is, hypothesis. Indian international kids who go to Britain who go to the UK for university tend to be going for politics, economics, maybe history, maybe literature if they're really weird. Literature or philosophy if they're really weird, right? But that's where they're going if they're interested in that. And the kids who are going to the States for college, as we call it here in the good old United States, college in the States, they're going for engineering, comp sci, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, stuff like that. Is that roughly true? Okay, and while I'm waiting for you to, I see your initial reply. I do want to read, like, I do want to listen to a poem. It is one way that I get like a boost of like dopamine. So let me go and listen to this poem.
My name is Imani Davis. I'm a queer black writer from Brooklyn, and I will be reading my poem After Learning of the Affair. I down 2 bottles of Chardonnay.
Okay, and I just realized something, that there's might be a little bit of a misunderstanding, but Pratham, I'm particularly curious, what makes a kid go to the UK instead of America, or to the States instead of the UK for their post-secondary education, for their college education? I was assuming, my assumption was that the kids who are hard engineering types, the CS types, would be going to the States. That's what I was assuming. I forgot about that. Right. America is expensive. Expensive. Yeah. Okay, so it's more practical considerations. It's not because of a specific academic focus, you're saying. So it's not like the United States kids, the kids who are going to the United States it's because of like the entrepreneurial thing. It's not like that. It's interesting. Entrepreneurial / engineering thing. I wonder, I'm not an engineer, so I don't know, but aren't U.S. engineering programs generally better? Isn't U.S. STEM generally better? I don't know. I'm not an expert on this, so I don't know. All right, poetry time. Here we go.
My name is Imani Davis. I'm a queer black writer from Brooklyn, and I will be reading my poem After Learning of the Affair. I down 2 bottles of Chardonnay and give an impromptu performance of Beyonce's Don't Hurt Yourself.
So this is the kind of slice of life poetry that, like, I used to read more of when it felt like a totally new world to me. Like the lives of people that I don't understand very well. And I no longer read that much of, because I think compared to 10 years ago, it's like just less new for me. But then again, who knows? Maybe I have all these prejudices about how things are going to be. So let's just lean into it and see what happens. Pratham, good luck with your class.
I prefer the first half of Lemonade.
The first half of, Lemonade, the song.
After learning of the affair, I down 2 bottles of Chardonnay and give an impromptu performance of Beyonce's Don't Hurt Yourself.
Huh.
I mean, I guess it could be God or whatever. This whiny voice luring me back to sanity.
Interesting.
Whoever it is, I'm not listening. This is not my first rodeo. This time, though, it's my hooves flirting with the edge of carnal, my reckless, tender back. Come on. I can't be the first bitch to gallop this bluntly across a breakup track.
We have a sustained image of a horse. We'll see. I'm just kind of curious what happens with this. Because this horse is going to down 2 bottles of Chardonnay, which is a type of wine. So let's see what happens.
If there is a time to be leashless,
By the way, guys, just because some of you guys are not very good at words, how do I know that there's a sustained image of a horse? Here you go. Rodeo, hooves, back, gallop. Okay? All of those words are right now referring to a horse. So here we go.
My God, it has finally arrived. My key to her apartment pressing its useless signature into my palm. Without warning, I relate to every lyric that hisses when touched. My mother says, you have never truly sung until a heavenly heaviness pushes out the music. How agony is useful if it can make us urgent. I guess some lessons in speed draw breath. Eat breakfast, can open a door and quit belonging to me whenever they please. It's an easy history. A girl offers to hurt me well, and I give her 2 years of my sun-drenched hands in return. How to articulate?
Dude. I lost it. My brain is not it's very squishy right now. I lost it. So, quick little mini lecture. A lot of kids, when they get lost in the school system, you're going to be forced to read. And when you're busy, you're going to be forced to read within a certain time constraint. So what happens is, doesn't matter how much you like or even enjoy, like or enjoy, or even understand a passage. In school, you feel like you just need to at least read the whole thing just to get through it, right? And so what happens is you learn this sort of habit subconsciously. Many students just learn this habit subconsciously of being like, oh, I don't understand, but I'm just going to force myself to move on, okay? That is not always a bad thing, okay? It's not. Because sometimes by reading later on, you actually resolve some of the questions you had earlier on, okay? And that's an uncomfortable balance to play. Sorry, I'm mixing my metaphors, but that's an uncomfortable balancing act. But if you get good at it, right, then you could keep reading along, and then you can resolve some of the things that you had read like a couple minutes ago, okay? Not the best way to read, but at least a way of continuing while resolving some of the confusion. But is that what normally happens? I would say for 90% of you guys, for 99% of the times, no. You move on and you're like, I don't get it. And then even if you get a clue later on of how the previous problem might be resolved, you don't go back and resolve it. In your head, you're just moving, you're just chugging along, just pushing, and you're just trying to read it as fast as possible in 30 minutes so that you can do your math homework, right? That's really what's happening. Terrible habit for your reading. Terrible habit for you. You're never gonna get good at reading like that. Like, are you gonna get good at golf if you just keep swinging and hitting that ball? But you're blindfolded, like hit. You just like keep swinging the damn thing, and the ball is going to the left. It's going behind you. It's going all over the place, but you don't even know, right? Then how would you get good at reading if you don't even know what your reading is resulting in? If it's not leading to realizations, right? You're never going to get good at reading that way. So it's a really terrible habit to just push along, even when you don't understand, if you don't make an active effort to try to resolve the things that you don't understand. Okay, that was my little mini lecture. Now let me go back. I like literally lost track. I think I zoned out for like a second, but within that second, I just lost I lost some threads. I'm gonna back up. So I was tracking here.
Eat breakfast, can open a door and quit belonging to me whenever they please. It's an easy history.
I still don't understand this. I guess some lessons in speed draw breath. So lessons are drawing breath. These lessons are eating breakfast. These lessons can open a door, which is highly abstract to me. I don't understand this.
A girl offers to hurt me well, and I give her 2 years of my sun-drenched hands in return. How to articulate the uneven arcs of desire?
I don't understand anymore, but I love the uneven arcs of desire. That's such a crazy combination of words there.
To let youth deliver its single lonely lesson.
Okay, back to lesson.
All the things I can be besides hell. I don't want to think too hard.
This is a loneliness poem?
Whose gruesome theater is this anyway? I think it belongs to whatever growls behind my eyes at the mention of her name. B and I toss our rings at the screen, cast our good feral furs to the ground like expired love spells. Yes, I can barely trust the sunrise anymore. But for now, I trust this. The sharpened howl prowling through my blood, waiting to wake.
There's a different... Feral furs is like wolf-ish. Okay, no, I'm not blown over. I don't know. I didn't fully get it. I'm just gonna move on. I have no comments. Let's try something else. Baby's first intersex birthday. Now, actually, I think some people might have a thought on this that they may or may not be scared to express. But notice, like, immediately I'm reading I'm about to read a second poem right now by a second person. This first person self-identified as Black queer, and even in her poem, she was the narrator, or the speaker was, in this case we call it speaker because it's a poem, but the speaker was referring to feeling lonely, thinking about a her, which is probably referring to Beyonce, but maybe referring to someone else, to like a female lover. So there we have a potentially gay character as the speaker. Here we have a baby who is intersex, right? So we're right now pretty much ensconced in like the LGBTQ queer world, which is, just to be upfront, it's not my world. I don't know a lot, and I'm more of a outsider looking in. So let's put that out of the way. But one thing that as someone who doesn't read a lot of poetry, that you might notice is, that there's actually a kind of high trend, like there's a correlation there. And I think I will make one comment on that, which is poets tend to be people who are extremely, in psychology terms, in personality psychology terms, they have an extremely high measure of openness to experience. Okay, and that tends to correlate with things like having mystical experiences or religious, spiritual experiences. Okay, not always, but it has a strong correlation with that. Conversely, in a less potentially positive way, they also tend to be more crazy. People who score high on openness experience tend to also go crazier, which I think makes sense with poetry or with poets. Because you see a lot of poets who also kill themselves. They're like the rate of suicide of highly successful poetry is like poets. Is very high. But openness experience also connects. Actually, openness experience weirdly also has to do with words. Like people who are really high on openness to experience also tend to use words that other people don't use. They like look around for words. And they are much more interested in the arts and whatnot. And this is not something I've read, but it's just very easy for me to extrapolate. Openness experience, people who score really high on openness experience are also probably very open to different types of sexual experiences, right? So I think the willingness to try thinking about their own sexuality in a frame that's pretty different from what the normal, what people at the median of the normal distribution, right? The typical people, right? What the way that they think of it, differentiating themselves from that, I think that would be very, it would make sense. So I think if you read poetry, specifically contemporary poetry, like poetry that's coming out like right now, that's being published, that hasn't been sort of anthologized by like figures of authority who have decided, oh, this is really good, like who have decided that Hemingway is really good literature, right? If it hasn't gone through the filter of history and curation and school curricula yet, then you're gonna see a plethora of material that's very it's representative of the humanity of people who are extremely high on openness experience. That may be very different from you, which might make it hard for you to access this kind of poetry. But it is one type of reality. It's a reality that's accessed frequently by people who are extremely high in openness to experience. So that's just some psychological context on poetry. And by the way, I also am extremely high on openness experience. When I've taken the long batteries of tests, like I'm really high on openness experience. So I'm kind of one of those crazies. I'm one of the crazy poet people. All right, here we go.
Hi, my name is Matt Mitchell. I'm a writer from Columbus, Ohio, and today I'm going to be reading my own poem, Baby's First Intersex Birthday.
Now, for me, my immediate reaction is, oh my God, people that I follow on my Twitter is gonna hate this. So I follow, they're gonna hate this because I follow a lot of educators on Twitter, and for whatever reason, maybe in the future I'll end up finding other educators on Twitter who are not like this, but I follow a lot of conservative educators on Twitter who are trying to defend an idea of like a sort of traditional education. Now as you guys may know, I'm not the most traditional educator. I'm actually more progressive if we like create like a spectrum of like traditional progressive educators. I'm more on the progressive side. But I feel two feelings. The first thing is, oh my God, my conservative educator Twitter people are gonna be definitely, they're like, I think they probably won't hate a human experience, but I don't know. This is the range of things that get a lot of hate. Okay, and on the other hand, for me, I'm also uncomfortable because I actually don't know what it is. The idea of being intersex and the transgender thing, like, it was not something I thought a lot about over the last 10 years. So now I'm kind of entering a new world. So we'll see what happens.
Like crystals of calcium hardened on the edges of a cheese block in the forgotten bottom fridge drawer, booger guts.
Wow, it's fast. Okay.
Glue my morning eyes shut, and I comb out clumps of my grandfather's hairline, and not even the sun breaking through the window.
We are the baby. We are the baby.
Window wants to fall into me. The auto-injector pushes too far into subcutaneous fat, and out comes oxygen and blood.
Whoa, we're a sick baby.
Then in goes a bruise. After I clean up, I look in the hole and see a terrarium of orchids slowly unpeeling. I press a flashlight against my stomach and watch the testosterone curdling inside rearrange me into something so fragile I'll lose my feathers if someone else holds me too long.
Whoa, crazy. Right now, so much crazy things are happening right now. I feel a lot more, my energy levels are like increasing right now because like it's, I like the velocity and I like the language and something crazy is happening. Flashlight against my stomach, watch the testosterone curling inside, rearrange me into something. Now I'm confused. Are we the baby or are we not the baby? Is I the speaker the baby or not the baby? I don't know.
Today is Tom Petty's Southern Accent's birthday. So many people in our galaxy, which is just one of many galaxies in a universe still growing, and Tom chose to have his album share a birthday with only me, and that alone is worth celebrating. I'll be 20-something according to my birth certificate, but I am probably a MILF to someone. The dog across the street weighs less than a dime. Like a doorway, I too was once hope before an empty room. I go to work, spending the hours rearranging the Drexels, now playing Marquee into your name, in case you happen to drive by on your way home from the Dairy Queen with an ice cream cake tightly buckled into the passenger seat. My hourglass body plumps into the shape of a bullet. I step outside, unmasked, and flash my tits at oncoming traffic. The sky above is stolen, all the clouds look like faces, and Franklin Park is empty during lunchtime. I go and meet a duck. I feed him hands of bread. He's probably killed hundreds of men like me in cold blood, but I am in a forgiving mood today.
I like this. It's so energetic and so much is happening, and I don't fully understand what's happening. My thought process reading that or listening to that, is, oh wait, he is the baby. Oh, but hang on, intersex? So maybe part of the problem is like, I don't even fully understand what we mean by intersex. So I think I need to start with that. But like, for example, if you are transgender, right? Then you could have your 20th birthday on your birth certificate, right? But then it could be your first birthday if you switch gender, presumably. It could be your first birthday in a new gender, in a new identity. So I can kind of imagine that. But like, I'm like juggling these ideas at the same time as like reading all these crazy words on the page. And I'm trying to figure out like what's going on. But even though I didn't really understand it, I felt a sort of energy, like at the end with the dog, the skinny dog, and then the duck, and the murderous duck, and then the forgiving the murderous duck, which is crazy. Like, what is that? Like, he's forgiving a murderous duck. What the hell does that mean? Like, it's like such a crazy idea to end the poem on. Like, it's fun enough for me. It was fun, and I'm kind of curious enough to reread it because so much was happening there, and I feel like that ending really paid off for me at an emotional level that I want to go back and reread this to try to understand it. Now, by the way, if you are watching this stream, you don't have to just watch me read poetry. You can just ask me questions, and I don't mind. I don't mind just chatting it up. What I'm really doing right now is I'm just trying to get myself awake, and I'm slowly succeeding. It's been like an hour of streaming, and I'm finally starting to feel more like myself. Dude, I was not feeling great. Now, I'm learning what intersex means, because it turns out I don't really know. So let's look. You're joining me in my little bits of research. Several sex characteristics that do not fit the XXXY. So, hermaphrodites. Oh, there we go. I was literally looking for this word. Terms. Oops. Sorry. Excellent. Terms used to describe intersex people are contested, and they change. So sometimes we call them hermaphrodites, or sometimes we call them congenital eunuchs, which is such an interesting word. That sounds like it was invented in the early, in like the 1940s or 50s. Okay. Right. They do feel right. I mean, the sort of gut feeling reaction is like, oh, you're a girl, but you have a penis, right? That's kind of like the picture, like, oh, you have boobs and a penis. Like, that's kind of like what hermaphrodites are to people when they first hear of them, right? So it's not a pleasant place to be if you are hermaphroditic, if you are intersex. There's no clear definition. I kind of want to know the statistics. Like, how statistically frequent is this thing? Prevalence, there we go. Do not conform to a platonic ideal of absolute sex chromosome gonadal genital. Wait, what's the difference between gonads and genitalia? Wait. Good. Gametes, testes. Okay, so it's specifically just like the production. It's like the manufacturing plant. Okay. See, 1.7, this study seems like it's so defining it so broadly. 1.7 is like 2%. You're saying 1 out of 50 people, right? Now, but they're specifically saying non-conforming with a platonic ideal, which is such a broad idea that I have no idea. Like, I want to know genitalia. Like, how frequently are the genitalia, like, or the gonads, not like mismatched, right? And I assume that's pretty infrequent. It's not as frequent as 1.7%. So I feel like this is obviously, I understand why if you are trying to push for a certain type of reform to feel more legally and socially accepted in society, I understand why you would want to use a larger percentage figure, but I don't know if this would help your argument. It's so broadly defined. I mean, I don't know, man. This is the kind of statistic that I feel like will get highly politicized, and I don't know if it's very helpful for our discourse. So here's 0.018%, which is a response to Foster Sterling. Chromosomal sex is consistent with phenotypic sex, and phenotype is classified as either male or female. What the hell is chromosomal sex? That's like the genes itself, and phenotypic sex, the physical aspects of it. Oh, bro, I'm so bad at biology. I need to get better at biology. Like, it would be good for me to get better at biology just for the SAT as well, actually. 0.37. See, like literally that's what I meant about. So I was thinking 1.7 here, and I was like, that seems kind of like, it's a reaction, right? So this is like a really strong reaction here. And then 2003, someone else is saying, well, maybe 0.37, or it's like too hot, too cold, right in the middle. Like, but what's, since I'm not gonna go back and look at all these journals. I'm not gonna look at all these journal articles. I'm not gonna do my own due diligence on this. I'm just gonna sort of take everything with a grain of salt here. Interesting. Foster Sterling is just saying, hey, I hope that there is some sort of estimate. And some other people are saying 0.02, 0.05, which is actually closer to Foster Sterling. We're all over the place right now. We're all over the place. Oh, and then there's this table of other one. Oh my God. Okay. Yo, no, this is too much for me. I was kind of curious though. I was. But now I'm getting a little too thick into the sort of like the little technicalities. So that's not really necessary, honestly. Let's reread this.
The cheese block in the forgotten body. Today I'm going to be reading my own poem, Baby's First Intersex Birthday.
So is Baby a friend who is named Baby? Is Baby a reference to the self as turning to your first birthday? You're a baby, right? Because it's your first birthday. I'm assuming, but then if it's your first intersex birthday, which I don't understand, okay, if it's your first intersex birthday, is that something like being transgender where you can have a first birthday even on your 20th birthday? Like, I don't fully understand that part, okay? Reading Wikipedia did not help me with that. It seems like if you're intersex, that means your first birthday is your real first, like is your biological first birthday, but I don't know. So I'm just gonna run with this and try this again. because the language when I read it the first time, it seemed crazy enough and interesting enough, and I love the sort of forgiving the murderous duck at the end, which is so crazy and bonkers. I want to just reread it and see what happens.
Like crystals of calcium hardened on the edges of a cheese block in the forgotten bottom fridge drawer, booger guts glue my morning eyes shut, and I comb out clumps of my grandfather's hairline.
So now I already know that this narrator is 20 years old according to his birth certificate. Okay? His or her birth certificate, or their birth certificate. I'm going to just say their for now. So according to their birth certificate, they are 20 years old. Right? Moving on.
And not even the sun breaking through the window wants to fall into me.
Okay, that sounds a little depressing.
Pushes too far into subcutaneous fat, and out comes oxygen and blood, and then in goes a bruise.
So what is an auto-injector? That seems kind of like a syringe. Is it a syringe? Okay, it's like a syringe. Now, I have a question, but I'm starting to think, I'm starting to realize this. Maybe if you are going through a sex reassignment surgery, right? If you're trying to, is that the right term? Honestly, yeah, I don't know. Is that the common term these days? If you're going through sex reassignment or realignment surgery, maybe you are kind of technically intersex in between. And then you take these, you do these syringes and stuff to try to help with the hormonal changes, maybe? It's just a guess.
After I clean up, I look in the hole and see a terrarium of orchids.
God, I still love that line. After I clean up, I look in the hole of, I think he's talking about the hole in his own body, and see a terrarium of orchids slowly unpeeling, which is like kind of gross as an image, but beautiful at the same time. It's gross and beautiful.
Slowly unpeeling. I press a flashlight against my stomach and watch the testosterone curdling inside rearrange me into something so fragile I'll lose my feathers if someone else holds me too long.
Huh.
Today
he's like
Tom
shriveling and he's turning.
So many people in our galaxy,
the testosterone is going away, I think. You know, he's transitioning into being female, into a she. So he'll be between a he and a she. I think that is what's happening. But that lose my feathers, that bit is also so crazy. It's just like, I'll lose my feathers. I like that image is so intense.
Many galaxies in a universe still growing, and Tom chose to have his album share a birthday with only me, and that alone is worth celebrating. I'll be 20-something according to my birth certificate, but I am probably a MILF to someone. The dog across the street weighs less than a dime. Like a doorway, I too was once hope before an empty room. I go to work, spending...
Like a doorway, I too was once hope before an empty room, which is a crazy turn of phrase there. But first, how can a doorway be hope before an empty room, right? And everyone has had that experience of walking through a doorway and hoping that maybe someone would be there, but then the room is empty. Right now, that could be, any number of contexts, right? You're hoping to see your mom, and no, your mom is not there. You're hoping to see the girl or the boy that you like, and he or she has gone, and it's only his or her friends that are left, right? But it's an empty room, so no one's there, right? So that feeling right there, it's such an effective, like, it's only a couple words, but you capture that feeling with those couple words.
The hours rearranging the Drexels, now playing Marquee into your name.
The Drexel must be a theater.
To drive by.
Into your name? Into your name? Into the name of somebody, but whose name?
On your way home from the Dairy Queen with an ice cream cake tightly buckled into the passenger
someone
seat.
That the speaker likes.
My hourglass
or
body
loves.
plumps into the shape of a bullet. I step outside, unmasked, and flash my tits at oncoming traffic. The sky above is stolen.
Oh, I think we're transitioning from female to male. I think that's what's happening.
All the clouds look like faces, and Franklin Park is empty during lunchtime. I go and...
And one of the things about that's kind of a strange and flash my tits, that was such a confusing thing for me to read. But now that I'm imagining it as female to male, I'm realizing, because this is one of those things that kind of is a topic for some people, right? Which is, the male breast and the female breast are totally different, have totally different histories of like sexualization. Like the male breast is not sexualized as much as the female breast, and so maybe this is like a sort of cry of liberation. It's like, oh my God, I can flash my tits and it wouldn't matter, right? Because I'm a guy now, right? So I think that might be the subtext there. I'm just guessing, but it's but like the word "flash my tits," like those three words, right? So sexualized, right? It's the kind of thing that would come up in pornographic materials. Flash my tits. It's kind of like a memeable sort of like it's like, yeah, it's so sexualized, but he I think is just doing it, right? And that's this. It's a crazy, shocking line right there.
I meet a duck. I feed him hands of bread. He's probably killed hundreds of men like me in cold blood, but I am in a forgiving mood today.
Dude, that is still crazy. I go and meet a duck. I feed him hands of bread, which is an interesting turn of phrase. He's probably killed hundreds of men like me, but I am in a forgiving mood today. What? Now it just seems random. Why is this duck so murderous? The sky above is stolen, which is also crazy. All the clouds look like faces, which is kind of crazy and creepy. And Franklin Park is empty except this murderous duck. But I am in a forgiving mood today. It feels random enough that I shouldn't like it, but I still like it. It's very strange. I'm like, what is that? What is this forgiving this duck? Wow, okay. So I unpacked it a little bit more on the second time I'm reading it, and I feel like I understand the thrust of it a little better, which is like, I'm 20 years old. I'm turning male in a physical way. My testosterone is curdling. It's turning up, and so I'm still in between the sexes. I'm not fully transitioned, I guess, yet. And my hourglass body is turning into like a bullet, more violent. And then I flash my tits, which is still like, it's crazy contrast there. And then at the very end, I meet a duck. He's probably killed hundreds of men like me. But I am in a forgiving mood today. I'm going to forgive this duck. Now, duck has this thing with doc, like doctor. And a doctor could kill hundreds of men in the sense of transitioning hundreds of men into I don't think that's it. That seems a little far-fetched. And we love somebody. I love somebody, and I'm hoping that he comes in with he or she comes with a Dairy Queen cake or something. Okay. Well, here's what I gained from that. Besides exposure to a bunch of very strange combination of words. That was pretty exciting to read. I thought a lot about what it's like to transition from female to male. And it's like, it's going to live with me, this flashing my tits. And becoming, and your body becoming reshaped from hourglass to bullet. It's going to live with me. It's going to stay with me. I'm going to remember that, right? That's what that life experience is like. Now, it's an area of the world and it's an area of human experience that I'm not familiar with. So I can't say much more beyond that. And I'm hesitant to. I'm like a little nervous too, honestly, because I don't want to be, I don't want to be dismissive or completely ignorant about. I mean, I am ignorant though. I don't mind being ignorant. It's fine being ignorant, but I don't want to be completely dismissive because I want to respect the variety of human experience. And I know that even though statistically it might be 0.01% or 0.02% frequent, and, it still is someone's life, right? It still is someone's life. Someone with a conscious ability to perceive their own worlds as their world and to tell stories about it. It's someone's life out there. So I'm just thinking about it. And then at the same time, I just have Joe Rogan and Dave Chappelle in my head going like, is it fair for LeBron James to suddenly join the WNBA? Right? It's like in my head, that's like the battle that's playing out. But that's irrelevant. All that stuff is irrelevant to this poem. This poem is about a person who is transitioning from female to male. And that experience. What a crazy experience. And what a crazy set of words. Okay, so I just read some poetry. Let me actually now I have some energy to go through my YouTube comments, so let's go see what happens. Oh, I'm waking up. I'm less. I was such a zombie like an hour ago. Oh, I don't think I have any new YouTube comments. Let's look. I'm refreshing. No new YouTube comments. All right, let's go into Discord. But Discord was pretty dead yesterday. Hey, what's up? Hey. So I'm just saying hi to everyone, but we didn't have a lot of discussion yesterday because I was dead, man. I was sick on Tuesday. Yesterday I was overwhelmed. I'm just putting myself together, guys. I'm sorry that my streaming has gone off. Like my streaming schedule has been totally broken. I hope to stabilize myself, but just a quick update, guys. I'll be so there's nothing new on Discord, so let's wrap that up. But in the next, hang on, it's Thursday in New York right now. 4 days from now, on Monday, I'm going to be flying from New York to Seoul, and Seoul, Korea. And, and so my pattern is going to be messed up again, right? So my streaming for the next couple of days is going to be a little random and crazy. I'm not going to be able to stick to I need to do a lot of things before I leave New York. So I'm just going to try the best. I want to finish all the QASs and all this stuff. I have some priorities, and I want to review the May US SAT, but I'm just a little overloaded right now with things to do. So I beg your understanding. Okay, please understand that things are a little crazy for me right now. I just gotta keep on my toes. I need to keep my energy high and just keep pumping out as much content as possible. So that's really my priority at the moment. Besides that, what else can I say? Today, this might be too much, honestly, but since I missed a stream yesterday, I want to do 2 SAT streams today. I want to finish the practice test number 5 and practice test number 4 for today's streams. But given how physically I still feel like so out of it. Not sure how realistic that is. Even my face, dude. I don't look like normal. I don't look normal right now. So I'm a little concerned. And I have a class today, and then I have some things to finish off for my for my summer plans today. So, it's a lot. But today I will at least do one SAT stream. So I will say that. The tuna, hey, here's the answer you want to hear, and here's the truth. Yes, you can improve your 1410 to 1480. But here is, and here's kind of the conditions on that. Okay? By when, I have no idea I don't know what your frame is, but if you're saying, hey, on May SAT, I got 1410. On June SAT, I want 1480. I have 1.5, not even 2 weeks left, and I haven't done anything differently. Then no, you're not going to improve. You're not going to improve by 70 points in a week, in 10 days, in 9 days, if you're not doing anything differently. If you keep using the same strategies, the same bad reading habits, the same bad writing habits, if you just keep reusing the same thing, why would your score be any different? Especially if you haven't been getting 1480 in your practice tests, you're not going to get the 1480 in the next 10 days. Okay? But if you're trying to get a 1480 and you have more than 10 days, okay, if you're taking the August test, for example, very, very achievable. The primary thing you need to be doing is you need to be trying different things, okay? You can't be doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same score over and over again, and it keeps coming around 1400 and 1430, and assume that when in all your practice you're getting 1400 and 1430, and assume that on the real test you're gonna get 1480. No, that's insane. That's crazy. What you need to be doing is different things from the way that you used to take the test. If you've watched my streams, you'll notice that I probably take the test in a very different way than you. So start by copying me. Copy the way that I take the test first. Okay, read the passage first, then read the question stem, make predictions. Don't worry so much about process elimination that every teacher talks about. Stop worrying so much about process elimination. Just be able to predict the answer, okay? And then you can avoid process elimination. And do that strategy first, and then let me know what your struggles are. The tuna, good luck with the SAT, but you got to take yourself seriously by actually experimenting on your test-taking method and learning what actually works. Okay, instead of just repeating the same patterns over and over and over again and doing like 100 practice tests but not changing anything. That's not going to improve your score. So that's my sort of broad answer. Now, the only way I can give you even more specific advice is if you tell me, hey, Saul, I copied what you did. I tried this and this and this, and this is where I got stuck. Like, if you say that, then I'll be able to help you a little bit more. So for now, I'll leave it broad, and I am about to wrap up the stream because this stream was successful in waking me up. Dude, I have been streaming for how long? I've been streaming for an hour and a half. I'm kind of awake now. I need to start preparing to actually get started on streaming my SAT on my QAS, or not QAS, but the practice test number 5. So I want to get to that as soon as possible. It's gonna wake up, gonna move my body, and get myself ready to do that stream. All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for understanding, guys. I'm having a hard time. This week. Man, it's just rough. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.